seconds started yet?
Yeah.
Okay, right, here we go.
Hold on, I've got to keep asking.
Can I announce myself? No? Here we go, straight in there. Okay, so what do I know basically? My presentation tonight is basically saying to anyone who works in e-learning and multimedia in general, please, for the sake of the users, try and squeeze some games technology or games expertise in there. I produced this video game, which no one has ever heard of, but was distributed by KFC in the UK, and they produced 1.5 million copies. So I would I would like to argue that that was the most widely distributed video game in 2006. Anyone else out there 1.5 million copies? No, it isn't. It's basically a games front end, 3D graphics over here that we purchased, didn't produce anything original, meshed that all together, and then behind the scenes a group of Flash video games. I'm the owner of a company called Haizum, not Haizum. The eye is there. Not here. Anyone watching a medical badge? One level business development consultancy. Strategy, learning and development, research and innovation, and so carrying on with what do I know about games. These are the games that I play. I play Puzzle Pirates. I think that's me there. It's a great general mix of different forms of games and social chats, well chunked. I think the thing about Puzzle Pirates is the sum of the parts is much greater than the whole experience. I play Settlers of Catan on Xbox Live. I first bought this game when it was in a box, and it said on the box, German board game of 1994. So really, you know, that was a very strong pitch and forced me to buy it, and I think last year it appeared on Xbox Live. Really shows the power of a great game. I played Final Fantasy XII, been attached to the Final Fantasy series for a while. Apart from being amazed by this, by what you can fit into a PlayStation 2, I think the power of Final Fantasy is that it was designed to attract Japanese women into gaming by injecting really strong cutscenes and emotions into video games at a time when we're all just running around trying to get the gold coin out of the pot. I also play legacy video games on a number of emulators. If anyone can name this title, then you're a better man than me, or woman than me. So step up. I think the graphics here prove that you can't necessarily step back in time, but you can learn design from retro video games. This is a number of projects I'm working on at the moment. Outsourced video games art. Taking commoditized print formats and information and moving it into an online environment, and also moving from Portal 1, which is sell, 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 to Portal 2, which is communicate, find and play. And my aim here tonight is to show off this kind of wonderful material, which is traditional e-learning, and to say, for God's sake, who would want to interact with something like that? The most attractive button on this page is probably exit. Even the guy here looks embarrassed to feed this. What a common mistake. Put in your face to this, mate. And this one's my favourite ever because it presumes that A, people who are looking at this glossary need to know what email is and also who Galileo was, and then they reinforce it by saying it's just the same as an old book that you can look through with a magnifying glass. It's okay, it's safe, don't worry about it, this e-learning is great, it's easy to use. Classic example of bad e-learning is my producer, who can't join me on the stage here tonight. Rusalka used to work at Disney, and her e-learning was basically saying to people in the office, would you take a bribe? Click no or yes. Which reminds me of the forms you have to fill in when you fly into America, which say, are you a Nazi? The answer's no. I think the point about e-learning commission and produce is they're forgetting that their audience live in this environment nowadays. Everyone's got a supercomputer in their pocket, and people can absorb this kind of level of information. This is EVE Online. This is PlayStation 3. This is home for PlayStation 3. So why would you want to take people who are used to this level of interaction, even arguably through, you know, Facebook, the Hotmail page is surrounded by a number of interactive elements, and why would you want to force them to go through what is effectively a dull sort of online flip-by-flip book? So let's not beat up e-learning too much, and let's say, well, what can e-learning learn from games? Characters, and characters, I think. It's Hotel Dusk 215 on Nintendo DS. This character here, he's introduced in about 3 static slides at the start, and we learn more about him and his history and the way he operates in those 3 slides, I think, than you do in most sort of most e-learning titles and in most Hollywood films as well. powerful emotions through the Sims here, through the emotions of the people who are playing the games, become attached to them. Attachment's obviously very strong, and engagement is strong as well, so people sit forwards and engage rather than sitting back and, yeah, next, have I finished it? Innovation. This is from a serious games initiative. Also, you've got 3D games engines being used in training environments at Coke and Orange. And you've also got homebrew kits and middleware environments and people modding across Half-Life 2, Neverwinter Nights, etc., really. And narrative. I don't know if there's anyone here from Little Loud, but they won an award last night, and rightly so, because narrative with multiple threads, open-ended questioning, and moving away from sort of Hollywood stereotypes of bad girls and tough guys and crap like that. Oh. That's a picture of 50 Cent.
There you go.
Yeah, there he is. Oh boy. Star power, I think is the next point. Games can create great images of stars, you can interact with them, but also they can create their own stars and also create their own heroes in terms of the power of the community. And that's another point about e-learning. Who are the right people to be generating this information? If you've got a workforce of 34,000, who's right? Is it the 6 people sat in an office saying, this is what you should learn, or is it the community of 34,000 people? Hopefully we all know the answer to that one. And with Web 2.0 features, with ranking, with Karma, with lists, etc., there's no excuse for not learning and interacting with the community. This is a 3D model of Copenhagen, or Copenhagen if you're not pretentious. It costs £150 on TurboSquid. It's got 34 modular buildings. It's got 15 additional furniture elements, including the reskinnable advertising areas, and 3D content. There's no excuse for not using realistic materials, and ultimately games produce fantasy and fun. This is the timeless trivia classic Thick Hunt, which was produced on the Sky platform, as you can see. It was of the time, I think, that's the point. So games can have a number of features. I think my final point here is that you need to be aware that in the workplace there are 3 warring factions. Fighting for people's eyeballs. It's people's work, their mobile, email and websites, and you're trying to add e-learning into the mix and grab people's attention at work.